So I've been dabbling with the new VisionOS, like making some application here and there, playing with the different type of like implementation and all that. And I would like to like make I wanted to make a tutorial video like where you guys can like follow along and then make your own Vision Pro AR like a tutorial app. You're gonna need obviously like beta version of Xcode and then Sonoma, like preferably. You don't have to like run Sonoma, but I feel like it runs like better on Sonoma, you know. And I cut this into like a few different chapters, like where first chapter kind of deals with like how you can make the project. Second chapter deals with how you can how you're gonna be writing the view model. Third chapter is basically how you can connect the button to like a display the immersive view, immersive experience, if you might, if you want to call it that way. And the final chapter is going to be basically how the reality view will add those model entities into the physical scene. So yeah, let's get on to it. So we're gonna start with making a new project. By the way, I am using Xcode Beta 5 and running this on Sonoma Beta 4. So we can choose VisionOS from here, click on app. We can just leave everything as is. VisionOS. We can just leave everything as is. Let's not include test. Just hit next. Save the location. Save to location where VisionOS practice. Right there. Create. And then this will generate some sample code. And we're going to start with, first of all, dismissing this screen. Option, command, return. There you go. And let's make this a little bigger. And if it complains about this, let's not worry about that. We're not gonna worry about that one right now. So right now, what we're going to do is to make the very main screen, quote unquote, and then we're going to do that by removing everything in here. Add our own restack with a button. And we're just gonna print something. Button tagged with just button right here. And then we're gonna give it a run. So it finally launched and it should look like this. Before we go in any further, let's take a look at some of the basic navigation. So right now we're in the selection mode and we can look around by choosing different options here. But in the selection mode, when you press and hold Control and then press hold your like a trackpad and then drag around, you can still look around. And then still keep still holding on to the control. Do 2-finger swipe back and forth, and then while not holding on to anything, so like a let go of your control button, do two-finger control, 2-finger, what is it, move around, and then you can just move around the scene like so. So this should be a very basic navigation in the simulator, but it should be enough for now. So we got this button, and then we're gonna click on it a few times and then see if there's anything on the console here. Okay, now that we set up the very basic bare bone app, let's write some actual code. We're gonna start with writing a view model for our immersive experience app, or whatever. I still have no idea what I'm gonna call it, but let's call it immersive view model for this. And we're going to import Swift UI for add observable macro, and we're gonna import reality kit for model entity. So we're going to use add observable macro like that was introduced this year. The reason I'm using add observable instead of observable object is that now this is going to be pretty much the standard, and let's just adopt this like a new convention and reduce like a tech dev like a later on. And also we don't need to use add publish macro in front of like a variable we want to keep track of. So that's pretty useful and a lot easier to read. And we can do this by like this, make it a final class, immersive view model. I'm just gonna copy paste this. Notice I'm not doing this or like observable object or like whatever. And the other advantage of like using this like a macro is that, let's say later down the road you have to make this persistable. So basically you can do this by implementing core data logic, or you can do import Swift data and then change this to model like that. But since we're not gonna touch base on this one, I'm just gonna skip that one at the moment. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, in order to display something, in order to display model entity, we need something that holds those like models, right? And we're going to say var model entities type of model entity. Notice this. This is model entity instead of just entity. If you're from ARKit or like some kind of non-VisionOS background, like you'll know like what entity is. Like a model entity, like it seems to be sort of like entity on steroid, I would say. And then we're gonna use this, and then we can just do this, but instead of giving it here, I'm just gonna leave it blank, because what we want to do is to fetch within this view model and then store it here. So we're gonna write that fetch function. Oh, before we do that, let's actually drag in these assets from here. We're just gonna put that in here. I'm not gonna like put that in the what is it, asset folder, just for readability purposes. I'm gonna put this on the full screen now. So where was I? Oh yeah, writing the fetch function. So we can write a function, func fetch model entities, and we're gonna make it async. And then what we're going to do is put everything in the do catch block. That error print error happened. Let's just do some generic error handling here. And then in this do block, how many things we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my, yeah. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do asynchronous fetching. Async let t pot model entity named t underscore pot. Oh, I believe like these should be a try 08. Yep, there we go. Gonna copy this, put everything in here by holding on to Control Shift down, down, Command V, and voila. And one more. T set. Typo there. And then the next one is what? Teapot. 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 TV. TV. Shoot, like so. And then we're going to, so what we're doing right now is that we're simultaneously fetching these model entity from our local storage. The difference between this and say let teapot equals model entity named T set teapot, whatever, and then let's say we're doing this like 5 times like this. Difference between these two is that right now we're firing these 5 calls simultaneously, whereas this one will have to wait on each call will be dependent on the call before this. So basically, this call has to be finished before this can be done, and so on and so forth like that. Please ignore my shitty typo right here. But if we put everything in async let, like everything will fire simultaneously on their own thread, like so this will be a lot faster. And then we need to congregate this by saying self dot model entities equals await T set teapot TV and everything guitar. So right now this line will wait until everything in here is finished, and then it will replace model entity we got like right here. What is, oh yeah, await try like so. And then this should be done for the view model. And then we're going to move on to writing immersive space and how we can link between this button. So we're back to content view. Content view is, well, this view right here, and we're not gonna use this right now, and this one either. Well, let's just restore that. See if you'll use that later on. Anyway, so in order to link your immersive space with the button, you will need to tap on this open immersive space. And what we can do right now is to give it a open immersive space, and we can give it an ID, and let's give it a space. Let's give it a like ID or like something that is like a unique and like recognizable. And we can just say immersive ID right here. Static let ID. This way, if you have any like a typo between this ID and then where the ID is linked, you won't have to worry about like what is it, errors and stuff. So like this. Oh yeah. async in a call that does not support we have to wrap this in a test block. This and await on this. Like so. And then this will fire up app wide, basically saying, hey, open immersive space with the ID of this. And then that is conveniently declared right here, this immersive space, and there's a like immersive view right here. And then this ID is different than what we use, not this one, right here, right? So we're gonna change that to immersive, what was it called? Immersive ID, yeah. Immersive ID dot ID, like so. So basically when we tap on this button, this will fire, and then the app will look out for the immersive space with the ID that corresponds to this. And then we're gonna go to this immersive view. And this is basically where all that like adding like a thing is happening right now. But this is gonna I'm gonna visit this later on. And then let's see. And then this app level, we're going to add another state variable. State var immersion style dot mixed. And then we're going to give this one a immersion style. Since this is binding, you have to use this $, mixed immersion style, and dot mixed. And let's give this one a Windows style dot automatic as well. So that should be pretty much everything for linking this button to open up this immersive space. And then let's move on to actually loading the asset and then displaying on this immersive space right here. So displaying assets to the actual physical space, quote unquote physical, is pretty easy. You can just go into this immersive view right here. It is already set up with this reality view and the initializer right here. And since we're not going to use this preview, we're going to remove that. And then we have already written a view model for this one, right? And then since we want to use this asset right here, we're going to write some of the bindable state var for view model. View model, immersive view model right here. And then let's actually feed this in here, view model dot init, like so. And then in this reality view, within this closure, it actually supports async await like natively. So we can just say await view model dot fetch model entities. And then once this is done, we can actually add all these items into the content by saying content.add. Oh yeah, we gotta say for model entity and blah blah blah. And here model entity. Okay, this should be done, and then you can just give it a run and see how it works. So after a few minutes of compiling, uh, our app has been launched. Right now, we are not seeing anything underneath here. If my speculation is correct, it will all be loaded up here in like a stacked up space, not respecting each other's boundaries, because we didn't give each individual entries any kind of coordinate space, so like that is expected. But let's just test it out. Hit the button, and then we're going to slowly move away from it. See if anything happens. Oh, yeah, we can see something going on down here. Well, it is uh a lot lower than I had anticipated, but it actually works. We can see guitar, we can see whatever the hell this is. There's a TV, and I'm pretty sure within this there's shoes, teapots, and all that kind of stuff just stacked up against each other. I think this is a pretty good place to finish the video. Next time if I remember to like make the next one. I'm really bad at this. Next time I'm gonna show you guys how you can drag this entity around, and then like set up a tap gesture, and then maybe display some kind of information and all that. So yeah, hopefully I remember to make the next video, and I'll see you then.